O night divine, O night when Christ was born. O night divine, O night, O night divine. Welcome to the Inspired Family Leader Program with Samuel Bakutana. Your host today, the CEO of Inspired Leaders International, an international leadership development firm that seeks to empower leaders to transform nations. I am a certified executive coach, an award-winning leadership consultant, a global speaker and author. Your Father's Union President for the Church of Uganda. What a pleasure to have you today. I will say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are watching us from around the world. This program seeks to empower, challenge, and equip men to expand their family leadership capacity for national transformation. I began by singing that song because we are getting into the season of Christmas, all night divine, when Christ was born. Today we are talking about a very critical and important topic, which is being transparent to your wife. I know when I talk about that, many of us will cringe, we will get some goosebumps. And we say, no, wait, what did you just say? How far should we go? What should we be transparent about? What do you mean by transparency? How should I go about it? It is quite a volatile, fragile, and I should say volcanic topic that we are having today. Good enough we have the right person to help us make sense of this topic and also get some divine nuggets of wisdom on how we can move it from knowledge through understanding to application. And that is none other than the Reverend Canon Justus Miwanda, who happens to be the Executive Director of International Needs Uganda. A man I have known for more than 10 years, a fellow father, fellow husband, a fellow minister of the gospel, a seasoned man. And it's a pleasure that we have him today to enable us think through being transparent to our wives. Canon, you're very welcome.
Thank you very much, Sam,
How have you been?
for having. I'm good.
Yes.
I'm trying as much as possible to be good and actually even better. I want to be even better. So thank you for hosting me. Thank you for the program.
You're welcome.
I've been pondering on it since you invited me to talk about this issue, transparency with our wives. I hope that maybe later you bring in a wife either to delete what I have said or confirm or improve it. So I'm here, viewers. I'm Justus Miwanda Njagala. I come all the way from Bwenje, Mengo. When I say Bwenje, people should not think that I stay in the
king of Uganda.
There is a village called Bwenje, and there is an official place, administrative place for Buganda. So I come from Bwenje village.
It's like when you say I was in Murago, they say, so who is sick?
Because of the Ruzira. You say Ruzira, then you say, oh, I've been to prison. No.
And when you say Utaruka, it's even worse.
Yes, so I come from Bwenje, and I bring greetings for my wife and my family. They know that I'm here, and we prayed that God will use me as we try to think through this important, you call it volcanic. Actually, it could be really, really volcanic to talk about transparency. I have been married for the last 28 years. Complete. It was 18th November. 18 years married to Deborah, my lovely wife. And God has blessed us with 3 wonderful children. Deborah, Daniel, and Damali. I started from down. But Damal is our firstborn, and Daniel, our second one, and Deborah is the youngest. And actually, the first two are working, and Deborah is in university at UCU. And I have been privileged to have been born in Masaka,
Yes.
grown up in Mityana, in that wonderful village called Namutamba. I'm always very proud of Namutamba.
You speak about Namutamba.
Yes, yes. And then I grew up in Mityana, in Namutamba. Then I came here in Kampala to work.
Okay.
I don't think it was by choice.
Okay.
Because when we got married, my wife is a government worker, a civil servant, working with the Ministry of Health. So she was posted, her first posting was in Chitagata somewhere.
In Bushenyi,
Yes,
Western Uganda.
and then we applied that she comes to Mityana. And then I traveled every evening, 21 kilometers from Namutamba to Mityana.
No, wait, to do what?
To meet my wife and to live with my wife. So
Wow.
it was not healthy, we thought, and I thought, and I was convinced it was not healthy.
Physically.
Yes, it was straining, it was very expensive. We had to pay 2 houses and always on a border every evening.
Wow.
So we moved into Kampala so that we could live together.
Yes.
Because that is God's plan.
Yes.
A companion always,
Yes.
not only evenings or mornings or over the weekends. So we came to Kampala.
I think that's potentially another topic for us to deal with.
Sure, distance
Because
marriages.
these days, honestly speaking, Canon, what
yeah.
I am observing is quite worrying.
Yeah, distance.
You see people who get married today, and after 2 weeks, you hear the young man has gone to Dubai to
2
work.
weeks is
1
too
week.
long. 1 week or even 1 day.
Yes.
And they move on. So we are privileged that we stay in Bwenje. My wife is a medical person. She works with Mulago Hospital. And I thank God that God has taken me through different channels, which I think are preparatory for me, for what I'm doing today and what I've been doing in the last 20 or so years. I trained as a teacher, a primary school teacher.
Wow.
Then I did health management at a diploma level. And then after, I did business administration.
Business administration.
And then later, I did ministry, mission, and then I did my master's in theology. So I've done teacher, administrator, and then now I'm a priest. So I thank God for all those places and instances where God has taken me through that have acted as training grounds for me.
Yeah.
But most of all, I want to thank God who I accepted, and he accepted me as a sinner, and I accepted him as Lord and Savior when I was 14 years in Namutamba. People think that every person who lives in Namutamba is saved, but I lived in Namutamba, but I wasn't. Because
Why would we associate it with that?
Yeah, because Namutamba is a big historical place for the East African revival. That's the place where William and Sarah Nagenda lived. So that became their mission ground. And then many people came there. And also the owner of the tea factory and dairy farm then, the Lee Wilson, he invited people from Rwanda. People who had tested the East African revival wave. Yes, Gahini. So he brought them to Namutamba. That was 1952, around there. So I got a chance of living in Namutamba for about 20 years.
Wow.
And I thank God for that. That one pushed me even further to know the Lord, to walk with the Lord, and serve the Lord.
Know him, walk with him, and serve him.
Serve him. And that's where I started as what we called a mubulizi.
Yes, a
lay reader in Namutamba Parish. I was both a teacher, but also a mubulizi for 10 good years.
Wow.
And that also trained me to work and learn with the people. But I thank God that at 14, I was convinced that I was a sinner. And I needed the Lord to cleanse me, wash me, and present me as a righteous person. Whatever good you see in me today is because of that decision that I made 43 years ago.
Amazing.
And I'm very glad about
Thank God.
Thank you.
Where did you get that beautiful lady that I know?
That beautiful lady, I had to go back to Masaka to get one. She's from Masaka.
You couldn't find one in Namtamba.
Don't take me that end. You'll make people jealousy. So I went to Masaka, but I met her here.
Okay, in Kampala.
In Kampala, we have a fellowship, a local fellowship, which happens every quarter of a year. At that time, it was always in Chambogo.
Is that the one of Chitende?
Yes. Okay. But that time it was in Chambogo. And one time I was leading a singing session before we started.
So even a singer?
Yes. And I spotted a lady who was sitting between my teacher and one of my sisters. And to me, I said, I must find out about this girl at that time.
Yes.
So during break time, I went to greet my teacher and my sister. So that led me to this girl. And the rest is history.
Like they say.
Yes, the rest
amazing.
is history.
28 years
Sure,
down the road.
Down the road.
We really thank God.
Of course, we had to add on 3. We had 3 years of dating. Yes.
Yes.
So you add on the 28, that is 31. I have
31.
met my wife.
Yes.
Yes.
That's amazing. And I think this sets a good background for our topic today.
Sure.
You
I
know.
thought so.
Yeah. I feel so really.
Yeah.
Talking about being transparent to your wife.
Yeah.
And if you're able to say that after 28 years, that it's something that could be critical, then I think we better pay attention.
Yeah. Something that I could refer people to.
Yes.
That, I had this problem. I used this drug.
Yes.
And it helped me.
And I'm now here.
Could you use it too?
Try it and see.
Sure.
Yeah.
I can ably say that one of the pillars of our 28 years of marriage, one of them is transparency.
Now tell us.
Yeah.
Let's begin from right there.
Sure.
What exactly is transparency? Generally speaking, what is transparency?
Generally speaking, when I entered this studio, I thought, I wish I had come with a polythene bag, a transparent one. It is seeing through something, and then you can see something behind. And the white or glass, you can see it is transparent. You can see through it and see something behind it.
Yes.
That's transparent.
So in other words, if something is transparent,
yes,
even if you put it in front of you,
you can
still be able to see what lies behind it.
Sure.
Because it is transparent.
Yeah. So that's the general term of transparency.
Okay. So now we are saying a man should be that. Should be able to be transparent to his wife.
Sure.
So in other words, if the wife looks through him, she will be able to see what is
in
within the
and
man
behind.
and behind.
And for me, that's very interesting.
Yes.
She sees what you were in you,
And
but
what
also
is behind you.
What is behind you.
Yes.
Your intentions, your insights, your plans, your everything. She can see it. And
that is scary.
Of course, sometimes, as we will see later, it can be very scary.
Yeah.
And it makes you vulnerable, highly vulnerable and at risk. But
another scary word.
Yes, vulnerable.
Especially today at Inspired Leaders International, we were doing a training for the staff of Pelam, Uganda, and it was about emotional intelligence for stable leadership. That's what we were talking about. And so we brought in that aspect of vulnerability and how it helps in emotional hygiene.
Sure.
And we had an interesting
building
conversation about how they brought in a cultural perspective to it, that, you talk of vulnerability, but most of our African cultures say a man should not be vulnerable. How dare you cry? For example, you have to swallow a pin, sit on the apex of a knife, step in the fire and say, I am well, with a smile.
Sure. Or when you are giving money to your wife,
you
don't allow her to look into your money purse.
Yeah. You turn.
You even turn.
Yeah.
You don't want... And I say, why all that? Why do you turn?
In fact, the question is, why not? So tell us, why should a man be transparent to his wife?
A man should be, first of all, transparency. Whenever we talked about transparency, we thought of money only.
Most often.
Yes. We think, do you tell your wife about your money? About your income? Now, when I run marital counseling these days, one of my topics is being open or disclosure. We call it disclosure. How much do you disclose to your partner? But more so as a married couple, how much do you disclose to your wife? I always tell people, when I worked in St. John's, Kamwocha,
Yes.
I didn't get a salary. But every Sunday I was there, they gave me money for my car, for fuel.
Yes.
Little, but enough. And I tell you, every Sunday, I'll tell my wife, at St. John's, they gave me this amount for the fuel. I necessarily did not give it to her, but I told her.
Yes.
Time came, I said, no, I'm here long. Don't give it to me every Sunday. Give it to me at the end of the month.
Yes.
But still, I disclosed it to my wife. First of all, I didn't want any gray areas. I didn't want her to think, which bank did he rob this evening?
This money that
Yes.
in his pocket.
Oh, when men have money, they don't sit properly. they until it is finished. So I want to show my wife that I got money. So if I'm paying this, I got this money from St. John's. Before, we were getting our salaries from cash, by cash.
Yes.
The accountant calls you, you get your money cash. Nowadays, it is check into the bank. But I made sure, and I make sure, I tell my wife, they have paid me. This is my money. This is what we have. Yes. We can do this, I'm going to do this. That is the level, the first level, the smallest level of transparency. Okay. If we can start there.
You're saying finances are the smallest level of transparency?
Yeah, by disclosing, this is my money. Yes. That's the smallest. Because there are other hard stuff. Issues where we need to be transparent.
So first tell us now what makes it important for a man to be transparent to his wife.
Clear gray areas.
Okay, removing gray areas.
Yes. Any suspicion. You don't want your wife to be suspicious of your travel and of your money, of your expenditure, but also of your friends. What about your family?
Yes.
How big is your family? What issues are in your family? What about sicknesses? Some people have chronic diseases.
Yes.
Are you ready to share with your wife, my dear, we have this in our family? She swallows it, she denies it, or she holds it, saying, I cannot stand that. So clear all gray areas.
Yes.
Number 2, be known.
Okay, it helps you to be known.
Yes, you want your wife to know you really, really well. When we were dating with my wife, she had a scar on one of her toes.
Yes.
But whenever we met, I observed that she was stepping on it.
She would be stepping on it?
Yes, to cover.
Yes.
But I had seen it. And I told her, can you tell me about your scar? He said, yeah, one time my brother was learning bicycle, so I sat on the carrier, and then my toy went into the spokes, and she got this scar. I knew her.
Yes.
That's very small, but I knew her. And I know it.
Yes.
That, okay, that scar is because of this. Yeah. So I want my wife also to know me to that level, that I have this scar here, it's because of this. Yeah. Or I have this because of this. Secondly, we want to be, if I can refer to 1 John chapter 1, verses 1 to 10, it also says, when we are in light. Yes. Now the other term that we can use for transparency is being in light or walking in light. Abanyankole ni bacheta omushana. Sibyo? Yes. That you walk in the light so that your friend, your wife, your husband, he sees you, he knows you. So what I was coming to is the fellowship part. When you are transparent, you are genuinely in fellowship.
Yes.
You can walk enhance because you know her. And you can speak about her confidently because you know her. She is transparent. You were transparent. And sometimes you see it even when we are talking. When you know each other really very well, 28 years, like sometimes you say something and say, oh, I was going to say the same.
I agree with you.
Yes.
I agree with you. I'm getting in my 15th year, but I'm already experiencing that.
Yes. So when you are 28 years, it's even more. So you will see, when you talk, she can really say, hey, I was thinking the same, or I was going to say exactly the same. That's transparency, because she knows you and you know her. But otherwise, also transparency brings forgiveness. You know, men today, especially we African men, we think that telling my wife my weaknesses, it is putting you really, really down and low, which is not. It makes you an ideal man.
Doesn't that depend on the kind of wife I have?
No.
Yes.
Whether she doesn't accept or whether she hates you, you say it. That, my dear wife, I said this, it wasn't right. Or I did this, I was not considerate. So when we are in light, when we are transparent, we are also forgiven.
Yes.
We get, and the Bible said, you get righteousness by being cleansed by the blood of Jesus Christ. So that is that important. You want to be known. You want to be to clear all gray areas.
You suspicion.
Yes, no suspicion.
Be genuinely fellowship.
Yes, you have fellowship.
Forgiveness.
Yes, but also God knows you. So if you hide anything from your wife, deep down in you, you live with guilt, which you don't want. And I want to warn husbands who are watching us and are listening that, believe me or not, our wives know us more than sometimes we know ourselves. And you come to him and you lie to her, and you lie, and she says, okay, and okay. And then she puts a question, which waters all that you have said. And she said, how did you know? She said, I know you. I know you. So I want to encourage husbands to be transparent, because first of all, God knows. But also, your wife knows you. Don't lie to her. She knows you.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's that important.
It is. It is
that important.
Yeah.
It removes the gray areas.
Yes.
It removes the suspicion. You get known better. You are genuinely able to be in fellowship
with her.
It brings forgiveness in the relationship.
And righteousness.
Yes, definitely. And so it also removes the guilt.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
So now, if we were to be specific on some examples of the areas or things that a man should be transparent about to his wife, you've already talked about the area of finances.
Sure.
Which other areas can we talk about where a man needs to be transparent?
Yes, I wrote here both the big ones and small, what we consider small as human beings, but they are very important. Number one is finance. We talked about it. Property. We can say property is also finances, because you can translate into finances. What do you have? Or what I had before I got you? I have a car. I have a house. I have land. Some of it I inherited from my uncles or from my aunties, but I have it. Talk about your health.
Yes. Open up about your health.
To say it. Some of these health issues that we have, they can be solved if we were transparent, especially sexual issues. Men are very conservative about sexual issues.
Why?
I think that's our culture.
Really?
Yes, it hides it. When we were young, when you talked about sex, they say, you get the biobsiru.
You're talking about foolish things.
Yes. They are not.
Some people even called them the things of Satan.
Yes, and they are not. So, but
yet all those people that we are saying, those enjoying it.
Sure, and they are doing it.
You know, the same thing I've been talking about money in the church. Sometimes we we pretend about
And
money
shy,
in
we are
church
shy, yes.
But then every Sunday we put baskets to collect it.
Sure, and we talk about it. Tell me a service where you don't talk about money. So, talk about your health.
Yes.
But also the bigger things. Talk about your weaknesses. Let her know that my husband is not good with money.
Yeah.
So, when he gets money, let me keep it as the wife.
If you can also be trusted as a wife with money.
Yes.
You may find you are united by your mutual friend. Both of you are in a catastrophic
you are bonded
harmonium.
in that weakness. But share your weaknesses.
Yes.
Tell her, I'm not good with this. I'm not good with the opposite sex. I'm not good.
You say that and she will, if she's holding a saucepan with hot water.
You end with it. So talk about, but talk about it.
Yes.
Talk about your strengths. Let her know my husband is strong with this.
Without
at this.
bragging.
Yes, but tell her that this is my strong point. But also, tell her when you have any victories,
Yes.
tell her, today I was promoted. My salary was increased.
You know that, Canon, many times when it comes to this issue of the victories, for many men, and I've seen this many times, their wives are the last to know.
Sure.
They first call their friends, hey, wait, guy,
never.
I've gotten the promotion,
No,
man. Then they call the neighbor. Say, do you know what? Today it happened.
Yes.
Then
Before the wife
they reach
knows.
even at home, they forget about it. And then
A
3
week.
days later,
Yeah,
the
by
woman
the way,
hears it from
by the way.
the workmates. Oh, by the way, I didn't tell you. By the way, by the way, by the way.
Sure. So
Victories.
cheer them and let her know. She should be the first one to congratulate you, to hug you, to give you a kiss. Congratulations, my dear. So share your victories.
Oh, so when there are victories, we should get kisses.
Oh, I get mine.
Okay.
Yes, I get a hug, a warm one. Yes. But also talk about your needs. Share your needs with your wife. If you don't have enough trousers
Yes.
or hankies and pairs of stockings or panties,
Yes.
tell her.
Somebody would say, no. Just go and buy them. Why are you telling your wife? Just go and buy
No,
them.
tell
buy
her.
the stuff and keep
Yes,
quiet.
you need it. Tell her. But even other needs, even sexual needs,
Yes.
tell her that nyabo, echuma chagira. Yes, tell her.
Don't just jump. Talk.
Yes,
talk about
talk.
it.
Yes, your needs. Talk to her. Tell her or be open about what you like and also
likes.
what you don't like. Yes, I put here in brackets, talk about your expectations. In my couples, the first lesson
Yes.
is expectations. What are your expectations in your spouse,
Yes.
but also in marriage in general?
Generally
Yes.
speaking. Even in life. generally,
Yes.
what you expect.
I'm not good at washing clothes. So my wife knows it.
Yes.
I'm not good. Ironing, I can. But let her know this, that my husband is not good with ironing, I mean with washing clothes. So I'll do something for him.
I hope there is a difference between not being good at something and being lazy.
About it. Yeah, but you see, then she will find out because she knows you. She says, no, but you can do it. Okay, let's start with your hankies and panties and stockings. Who does them for you? And then you learn that, hey, actually, I can. I told my wife when we were dating that I don't sleep well if I bathe after dinner. No, yes.
If you bathe after dinner.
No, before dinner.
Before dinner.
Before dinner.
Yes.
So for me, as a youth, as a young man, a single, I always bathe.
You first bathe, then
and
have dinner.
Yes.
Yes.
He said to me, no, I first ate and bathed.
Okay.
I'm sorry to confuse you. First bathe, first eat
Then-
and then bathe
yes.
and then straight away to bed.
Okay.
He said, okay, that's how you do it. I said, okay. And she looked at me and I said, some things must change. I said, why? I can't sleep.
Yes.
But now I sleep.
That was a mindset.
Yes, and she told me,
It was,
and she told me it's not healthy even
to do what?
to eat and bathe and go to bed. said medical is not good.
Sure.
It speeds up your metabolic rates, and then you sleep. Yes, you may sleep on an empty stomach, but says medically you must bathe
Then
and eat.
Wow.
And then
How
go
many
to bed.
people know that?
Yes.
Same
So
thing with the fruits. I got
yes.
to know that you have to
Yes.
first begin with fruits before you eat
yeah,
the rest of
or
the
after
food.
meal, after an hour, then fruits.
yeah.
So share with her your life,
Your expectation.
but also the smaller things. Tell your wife, let her know where you are at a particular time. You see, people say that this phone lie or deceive.
No, it's
It's
the
not
person.
the phone, it's the person.
Yeah.
But tell her, I'm going here. I am here. I will be late. I work in Bwenje, which is 65 kilometers from here.
Wow.
If I start from Bwenje anything after 4:30, I will be late at home. And before it is, I call her, my dear, I will be late,
Yeah.
but I'm on the way. I'm clearing the gray areas.
And
Where is
removing
he? And suspicion. Where is he?
Yes.
Now there's this tension about Ginger Road and accidents. And
Yes.
now, if anything happens, she knows my husband told me he will be late. So he's not in that accident.
Yeah.
Or nothing's holding. So tell her, near all our homes, there is a certain shop or kiosk where when you are going home or when you are home, you always go there, either for mobile money or to buy something that is not at home. Tell her when you are going.
Why is that important? Just I'm going to the shop, just
Yes.
pick a matchbox.
What if something happens to you?
What if nothing happens to me?
Yeah, but she knows that I'm at the shop. And I
Don't just get out of the house.
Don't. And some of our houses have a hind door. So you go into the bedroom and you go through the hind door and go somewhere.
Yes.
And if something happens, they tell her, your husband has a problem. No.
Yes,
My
no,
husband
he's
is
in the bedroom.
Of course, it will not change
Yes.
what will come, the circumstance, but at least it will clear her ignorance
Yes.
about where you are.
Yeah.
And the embarrassment. That,
The embarrassment.
yes,
Yeah, most especially.
my husband is in the bedroom, Kumbe is on the road in an accident. So tell her your movement,
Your movement.
your traveling, your places. But also share with her your friends.
That one.
Yes.
Yes.
Whether female or male, let her know your friends. So that if something happens, she has a place where to go. But also, she can get counsel from these places. But also she knows that
Yes.
Sam is Justus's friend. So if something happens, why? He's not here. Is he there?
Is he at your
For
home?
sure, he is.
Yeah.
Or we have been
Is he
together.
along with him?
Yes. Or we have been together, but he's on the way home.
Yeah.
So it clears a lot. That transparency that multiplies and fills over to your friends is very important.
Wow.
Yes. Then, time, expectations, victories. Yeah. Let's go back to finances. Let your wife know which bank is your account.
Okay.
Not only that, what you have in your hands. Let her know my husband's account, if there's one or there are two,
Yes.
it's in Stanbic or any bank or Equity.
Yes.
There's one lady who lost her husband. And this husband had money, lots of it, in a bank. He called it a reserve
Yes.
for the family in case something happens. But he never told his wife. So, and he had apartments where he was getting income,
Money from.
which the wife didn't know.
Yes.
So, after a month after his demise, this man comes to the wife and says, why don't you pick your money? I said, which money? That we always gave your money to your husband. And this mother was struggling with school fees and whatever. But she had money.
Yeah.
And this man actually helped her because he was a co-worker with her husband. He helped her. They got into their account. They got into NSSF. They got, and she was saved because of the friend who came. But if he didn't,
because of the friend's transparency, which lacked in her own
husband,
her own husband.
So let him know your account. Now the deeper one is the PIN number of the ATM card.
Password, personal identification number
of the ATM card.
Yes.
That is hard for men.
Why?
Yeah, because they think for you being transparent, you are making yourself highly vulnerable. You are putting your life at risk and your property. So they say, financial issues. You are my wife.
I will tell you my travels.
Yes,
I will
but
tell
not
you
final.
where I am,
not the PIN.
but not the PIN.
If you can trust her to give you food, why can't you trust her with your PIN?
Because my money is more important than the food.
That's what it means. That's what it means.
I heard somebody talk about that kind of prioritization concerning the children. That, for example, as a woman, you have this house help. Some people call them maids. So you have this person in the house who looks after the child when you go away, maybe to your workplace. So you get your bag, you put it in the bedroom, you lock the bedroom door, then you get the child, and put her or him in the hands of this house help, and go away. So the question was, what do you treasure most, your bag or your child? If your child was more important and you want him more safer, maybe that's the one you should lock
into the room and give her the bag.
And then give the maid the bag to keep, but of course
rarely will you see that.
Definitely.
So let's prioritize the issues of transparency with our spouses. Now
this is really,
make sure
this helps. I think we should add our worries also. We should be transparent about our worries. Worries just come to my mind, our worries.
Tell her.
What are you anxious about as a man?
And she knows. She says, "You, why are you not settled?
You don't look okay."
Yes. What's the problem?
But I'm well.
Yes, I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm okay.
I'm okay. Yes. So share even your worries. I will add that on my list. I had not. Worries on your list.
We could as well, these are now coming in just right now as we talk, we could as well add our aspirations. What are your goals or aspirations, for the future? What are you planning to do?
Yes. What do you want to buy? What is important for you? Is it land, car? Now, some of these things sound very personal. And you want to think that, no, I don't want to disclose to my spouse. But I tell you, if you don't, you are digging a deeper hole for yourself and for her and for the family at large. So my third point is about the reciprocal value in transparency.
Reciprocal value.
I want to be transparent
as
much as she is transparent.
Even first of all, before we get to that, when I look at what you have shared, you know, be transparent about finances, about property, about health, about your weaknesses and strength, your expectations, the victories you are having, the needs, the likes, the dislikes, the worries, the aspirations, the bank account, the ATM PIN. I am asking myself, is this principle of disclosure, this principle of transparency, is it an absolute principle, or are there moments when, quote unquote, wise concealment is needed, especially where you discern that opening up about something may cause more harm than good, or this principle is absolute, whether opening up on some issues will cause harm or not, just open up. Is there a place for wise concealment?
If it is not between you two.
What does that mean?
If things are between us, it's me and my life, and her and her life, and our family, why not? But there are some official concealments. I'm a counselor, a marriage counselor. A couple comes to me, or a man, and says, this is my problem, my brother. I would open a window for that. But sometimes people who come to me, I ask them, when they say, I want you to pray for me, and I say, I pray in most cases with my wife. Do you mind to mention your prayer request with my wife? And says, yes, I don't, or I do. In that way, I will be not even translucent. I will be totally black and dark. Opaque. Dark and black. I would not.
Silent about that.
Yes.
Yes.
But for other issues that are about our marriage, about our children, about our finances, why not? Like you said, if you trusted her with your child, what about the money? If you trust this person, you sleep with her, you eat with her, some people bathe with them.
Yeah.
How can I?
And actually, those who don't bathe together, they should start. I highly recommend.
Sure, it is very good, especially for men. Especially for men. So why not? So I really single out very few issues that I wouldn't be transparent to my wife.
You know, in my mind, I'm having a picture of Samson in the Bible, who is busy disclosing the source of his strength to Delilah and what came out. In my mind, I'm having a picture of King Ahab and his wife Delilah when he tells her about the plot of land of what was that gentleman? Naboth.
Naboth, yes.
I am asking this question with that in mind.
Yes.
I'm looking at Sapphira and Ananias and their transparency and what it caused. And I'm saying, could there be places where... Oh, here is another example. Somebody, for example, says something terrible about my wife.
I will tell her, that is me.
And you find, for example, this, let's say her sister, let's say her aunt.
Or family in general.
Generally. Or her close friends. I get to know that she said something. Do you think sometimes it's wise to say that?
That's what I call official concealment. There are things at my place of work that I have to conceal. There are places also where she works, what she has to conceal. So that's the only window that I leave.
The way you are saying it is you are taking it only to the issues of the workplace. Are you saying it is that concealment can be in the area of workplace, otherwise outside the workplace, everything else outside the workplace
the official
must be opened up?
Sure. And we have exercised that in our marriage.
For 28 years?
All.
And you've never found a problem with it? Okay.
And then we conceal it, the two of us.
Yes.
But we pray, we talk about it, we share, and it helps us also to look into our marriage.
Yes.
That we shall not do that because they did that.
So how does this apply to that kind of a man who became transparent, totally transparent to his wife? And then what he shared was used against him by his wife.
Yes.
Just for example, he opened up about you talked about the PIN, the personal identification number for the automatic teller machine of the bank. And when he opened up, the woman went and withdrew all the money and traveled to the UK. So that kind of a man, how does this apply to him? And how do you tell him to once again start to do something like that?
I'll tell him to start again.
Once bitten, twice shy.
Yes. I called it abuse of transparency.
Exactly.
That's what I called it.
Transparency was abused.
Sure. I called it abuse of transparency.
You once again continue to be transparent and invite more abuse?
No. Of course, if she goes to the UK or to Dubai and does not come back, that's different.
And if she comes back?
Yes, I have forgiven you.
So does forgiving mean I still keep putting myself in harm's way?
Yes, because in your vows,
for good and for worse,
and they even say, I honor you with all that I have and my body. So you have no way. For married people, you have no way.
Yes.
If it is for you too. So I wrote here the issue of the risks. The risk of abuse, the making you highly vulnerable, and breaking your privacy.
Yes.
In marriage, I have told my couples, I have so far wedded 69 couples.
You've wedded 69 couples?
Yes.
Wow.
I have told them, you don't have any secret that you can hold unto your wife or your spouse. You don't. So, even when it breaks your privacy, but tell her.
When transparency is abused.
Yes.
And I think I should ask it this way, that talk about medicine. Your wife is in the medical world. They say that every medicine often comes with some side effects.
Sure.
So I think I should say, what are the potential side effects, the potential pains in being transparent? So you've talked about the risk of abuse and your privacy being broken.
Yes, privacy. And the third one is highly being vulnerable. It makes you highly vulnerable.
Yes.
But I don't fear to make myself vulnerable to my wife. That's the reciprocal part that I talked about. That I have to get exactly the same from her. What I share, she should share. That's another topic altogether. to have here a couple talking about their transparency journey. But these three issues, I found them very critical. Those are the side effects of transparency. Breaking your privacy.
Yes.
Highly.
Yeah.
She knows you. He knows you.
Yeah.
Every part of you, behind, in front, around and above,
In
and the
and
bottom, in and out and center.
Yes.
She knows you.
I think in the language of nowadays, they would talk about releasing your nudes.
To her, she knows it. And then the vulnerability we have talked about.
Yes.
And the abuse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately, there are partners that have abused this value of transparency heavily. They have abused it. I want to implore you, husbands and wives, please reciprocate transparency, but also don't abuse it.
Oh yes. Don't abuse it.
Don't abuse it.
By the way, we are now talking about the marriage environment.
Sure.
But you know, marriage comes from somewhere. It comes from dating and
Sure,
all that courtship. And these days I see many girlfriends who ask boyfriends to do what only husbands should do. Many things on that list. So to what extent does transparency apply in a dating relationship? Just briefly make your comment.
I think
Boyfriend, girlfriend, to what extent does transparency apply in that kind of relationship before they get into marriage?
I think the time you know that this is my future partner,
yes,
you should be transparent.
To what extent? Because this is not yet my wife.
All. Because...
Really?
Sure.
Somebody who is not yet my wife?
Yes.
Someone who is not yet my husband?
Yes. Because there are boundaries, of course.
Those are the boundaries I'm talking about.
But still,
yes,
you can see through these boundaries. Tell her, this is my take-home salary.
Okay, yeah, that's...
So that she does not have higher
that one is okay. But pin for the ATM to my girlfriend?
But I said boundaries. Beginning, no. But towards, you are looking at the budget of the wedding.
A week too, that's okay.
Or even a month, because I know she's going to be mine, and we are spending now on our wedding.
Things change even a week before.
She can, but sometimes they change even after a week. So I rather. But there are issues like health issues. Why shouldn't I tell my wife, my future wife, that in our family
we have this
problem, so that she knows. When it comes to HIV, you don't have even any other alternative. You have to go and test and tell her. Recently, we have been discussing at my church in St. Andrews, Bukoto, who should bring these results from the doctor, and what should we have from the doctor? Because we have a form which the doctor feels. We have tested sickle cells, HIV, syphilis, and the doctor feels negative. How much can you trust that? I questioned that. How much can you trust that?
They can buy those results.
Not even buy. They feel them themselves.
Yes.
So, but I say, and I wrote here, transparency should start in dating, so that I need to win her trust.
Yes.
So I must be transparent.
Yeah.
I need to know her. She needs to know me.
Yes.
I have to be open.
But how will this boy and this girl know each other when every time they meet, at a restaurant to just eat or to watch a movie? They never sit down and really talk.
Like I told you that the barokole koito kujamu mushana.
Yes. Walk in the light.
Yes. For us, when we were dating 3 years, the brethren arranged us to go into families and they talk to us.
Okay, different couples.
Homes, different couples who are successfully married. So we went to different homes. So we used the time well.
Yeah.
We did not only go out for dinners and breakfast and
and the cinema to watch.
Yes, watch cinema.
But also to couples to learn.
And we
That's
learned.
important.
It helped us to open. I had this old man, Reverend Canon Bwenje's John. I went to his home and his wife, and they talked things, and I said, wow. And this man talked about his life, his weaknesses.
Yes.
To me, I was a Mubulis, and he told me these things, and they helped me to also open to my wife.
We need to sign out.
We need to sign out. I can see.
But just to make a quick comment, what kind of environment should a woman create to enhance her man's transparency? Is there that angle?
The reciprocation.
Okay, she should also be transparent.
Yes.
That also enables the man
shouldn't
to
abuse.
Yes.
Yes. She shouldn't abuse his
transparency.
Yes.
Yes.
She should not make him
Shouldn't break the
vulnerable.
privacy.
Yes, the privacy.
Yes.
Her and him. You and her. Yes.
So in other words, you're saying this is not just an issue of men only to be transparent, but also their women should be equally transparent.
And we should teach our children to be so.
Yes.
To be so.
Wow.
And I said here in summary, it is from both sides.
Yes.
We can say
Takes
from
two to
all
tango.
sides.
I hear you.
It takes two to tango, so all of them should be transparent.
Look straight into that camera and share your parting shot.
Yeah, my
parting shot. So we are done. We are done. For now, we are done.
Yeah, brethren, I want to thank you for listening and watching to us. The issue is being transparent. I want to say it's one of the pillars on which we have built and shrived our 28 years of marriage. And I want to say it is possible. With Christ in you, between you, it is possible. So thank you very much for listening and good night.
Oh, yes. That's very important. You've heard it from somebody who has been married for 28 years, somebody who has wedded 69 couples, somebody who has 3 wonderful grown-up children, someone who has a diversity of abilities. I call it a tap. He is a tap, like a tap of water. Teacher, administrator, and priest. He's a tap, T-A-P.
Thank you.
Who has all these diverse capabilities and experience for all these years, saying, hey, here is the master key. Here is the master key. Now, they say that wise people learn from the experiences of others, but those who are not that wise always wait to learn from their own experiences. I want to pass this on to you, the younger married couples. You've been married for 2 years, 1 year, 3 years, 7 years, 8 years. If you hear somebody tell you, I have been married for 28 years and transparency has been my biggest secret, why wouldn't you decide to try it out now, seriously, if you also have dreams of being in a marriage for 30, 40, 50 years, if God will still be keeping you alive? Many lessons we have learned today. Let's go and do the best we can. I know for some of you, you've never been transparent at all.
At all.
Or maybe you only opened up about the type of shirt you want to buy. Those are the issues you are transparent about.
Yeah.
But now we have had a wide array, a long list of things we could decide to be transparent about. Matters of finances, your property, your likes, your dislikes, matters of your health, your goals, future aspirations, anxieties, worries, expectations, to mention but a few. So I know that you won't fly out of what you walked into, because you came to where you are gradually. It may be difficult for you to fly out, but the point is, can you make an endeavor now? Let's agree, you and I, that we are going to make the endeavor to now start to walk towards serious transparency. And once we do that, we will see a new warmth in our marriage. I've spoken about rekindling love in a marriage, and one of the things I've always talked about is that where there is no transparency, the relationship can't be deep and warm. And I know you want a deep and warm relationship, bro. I know, with all its benefits. But you see, where we need benefits, we must know what brings those benefits. We must know the responsibility that we have upon our shoulders to cause that to happen. Let us go and do what we know we must do, when we know we must do it, whether we feel like doing it or not. That is what they call discipline. This has been the Inspired Family Leader Program with Samuel Bakutana, your host, together with the Reverend Canon Justus Miwanda, the Executive Director of International Needs, Uganda. Live exemplarily, love authentically, and lead relationally.